What helps you adapt with the younger students that you're now teaching?
Well, I think what helps me adapt is just like widening your perspective and taking the time to really understand each of your students. Because understanding your students means learning about who they are, their cultures, their family life, their different experiences. And because once you open your life to who they are and your students' experiences, it will be much easier to adapt and essentially fill their needs and to better their success and growth.
How did you know you wanted to be a teacher?
I wanted to be a teacher from a really young age. I've had really good experiences in my childhood, preschool, kindergarten, from there on with teachers. Is it harder working with little kids or older students?
Um, for me, I would say the older kids are harder to work with. When you have like younger kids, they're like so eager to learn and like they want to be at school every day. They want to see you. They want to be on your good side. But once you get up into like probably middle school and then into high school, you get the kids that maybe don't want to be at school a lot. They're under a ton of stress, and so they're not really as eager to learn. And I think that becomes a lot more difficult to manage than the little preschoolers that are so excited, so happy to see you every day.
How do you feel when you teach?
I feel really natural. I'm in the classroom. When I first started student teaching, or even just being in the classroom observing, I felt really nervous. I didn't think that the kids were going to be able to listen to me, or I wasn't going to be able to handle the classroom management. But after student teaching for this past year, I just feel really natural in the classroom, and I just talk to the kids like I'm having a conversation with them. I try to teach on their same level, keep us on the same level.
Kelly, what inspired you to be a teacher?
So when I was tutoring, I had students who were facing some pretty unique challenges at home, and something that I admired about them was that they were always eager to be at school, and they were so appreciative of their education and excited.
How do you like working with little kids?
I love working with little kids. They're at such a young age that they're so impactful anything you do. And they always come in with such a positive attitude that everything you do during the day, they're happy and they love any craft or activity that you do with them.
I would like to know which class is your favorite class, subject, and why, as well, which class do you find the most challenging to teach?
My favorite subject has been English and math because they work very like step by step off of each other, so to me it kind of makes sense the way it builds, and it's like very cumulative in that way. And the most challenging subject for me to teach as an individual is science, because this is a subject that I struggled with learning as a student, so now becoming more comfortable with it, I have to be very careful about the way I introduce it so that it makes sense for everyone, since I struggled with it myself.
So question number 7 is, why do you want to be a teacher and what do you want to teach?
So the reason I want to be a teacher is because I used to coach gymnastics, and I worked with a lot of younger kids, and through coaching them I was able to watch them grow and see all the changes that they were able to make, all the improvement that they could do, and just in a short amount of time. I usually would have them for like just the duration of a year, and it was amazing. I was really thankful for being able to impact them, so I decided if I was a teacher, I could do that for the rest of my life. And then I think I want to teach probably preschool or kindergarten age. I have experience with that age group so far, and I really think that preschool and kindergarten teachers set a foundation for students. They give them expectations. They basically teach them how to be a student from kindergarten until the time they graduate. So I think that they have a really important job.
How did you know which college to pick?
I was in between a 5-year program and a 4-year program, and I essentially decided that I wasn't going to want to go back to school.
Question 6. What made you want to start teaching, and did you have any teacher in your school that made an impact on you and made you want to be a teacher?
So my second grade teacher, Mrs. Baker, was probably my favorite teacher in the entire world. We started every morning with her playing the keyboard in the room, and we sung a good morning song, and we sang songs throughout the day, which I thought was super engaging, and it kept us like concentrated on our work and like as a group. And then my favorite thing about second grade was she had a year-long reading goal, and if you read 1,000 books in the year, we got, not 1,000, 100, sorry. We had a picnic at her house, so we went to her house and she made us food, we had a balloon toss, we had like games and stuff, and then she gave us a gift, and yeah, we were also her last class, so it was a lot of fun.
Sarah, how did you know that you wanted to be a teacher? When did you realize it?
I guess I knew I wanted to be a teacher ever since I was little, because I had a really amazing first grade teacher who just made every student feel like they were really smart and were valuable in the classroom. So I wanted to become a teacher to hopefully inspire the next generation of kids like the way that my first grade teacher inspired me to always try my best and achieve my goals.
Good job, Sarah.
What inspired you to become a teacher?
So I was first inspired to be a teacher from the countless number of teachers that I had in the past that were really great mentors to me. I really loved. I also want to be a teacher because I really want to be an advocate for students that I have, and I also want to be an advocate for other teachers in the profession as well. Another reason why I want to be a teacher is just because I love to help people succeed at their goals. So I want to be more than just a teacher who teaches the material for my students. I want to be a mentor for them. I also want to be a person that they can come to talk about anything. They can feel comfortable coming to me to discuss things that are happening in their life, or like academics or stuff like that.
How do you feel when you teach?
Hi, I'm Megan, and when I teach, I feel really thankful. It's an amazing opportunity to walk into a classroom each day and impact the next generation, and I think that's just something that you really can't find.
Why did you pick the college that you picked?
So I chose Pitt because I really wanted like a bigger school. I came from a pretty small high school and didn't really like that type of environment. I was okay with being in bigger classes, but also knowing that eventually I would be in smaller classes when I entered my program. That was also another big reason that I chose Pitt. Pitt has the CASE program, which is a 5-year master's program, and you get certified in general education and special education. And I was looking for a college with a great education program, and Pitt was definitely high up on the list whenever I researched that. So I think that throughout this program it really helps teacher candidates because you get 4 student teaching experiences instead of 2 or 1 like other colleges do. So you really get acquainted with how a classroom looks in various settings, and that was really important to me because I want to be the best teacher that I can be.
Okay, Sam, so what are your strategies to calm a student down when they are acting out?
So my biggest thing if a student is acting out for whatever reason is to make sure that they know that I'm talking to them face to face, just being very personal. So the first thing I do is try to get down to their level. So that could be just like crouching like this, depending on their age, or it could be like going all the way down. And if they are comfortable and I know that they're comfortable with physical contact, I'll just make it known that I'm here, I'm present. So maybe that's a touch on the elbow or just
All right, the first person wants to know what our favorite class/class subject is.
In this program, my favorite class was multicultural education course we took because it acknowledged a lot of current events that are happening right now, and the reason why we both got into teaching was to acknowledge social justice in the classroom. So it's a huge motivator.
Yeah, all the cultural, social justice classes we've taken for sure. Also, what the most challenging class to teach is? I would say math and science. One, because I'm not very good at it, and also because kids don't seem to always want to do math, no matter what age.
How did you know that you wanted to be a teacher? When did you realize it?
So like a lot of future teachers, I wanted to be a teacher when I was in elementary school, and I had a really awesome teacher in 1st and 2nd grade. So whenever they were like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, I want to be just like you. I want to, have the classroom set up and like just kind of teach in the environment that I was learning in. And then whenever I got to middle school, I was like, no, this is all wrong. I want to be a lawyer actually, and I was into these ideas that I would like really enact social change and like change the system and do all these things. And so then in high school I realized that that's something that I could do in education. So I switched again, and now I want to become a teacher again. And I want to teach younger kids, so probably kindergarten to 2nd grade, because I think that's really where you can connect with students and inspire them to learn and to really enjoy learning and to want to continue with their educations. So that's where I think you can enact social change. So yeah, I think I initially knew I wanted to become a teacher, and then I wasn't really sure how that would fit into my ideas of what I want to do with my life. So I found that I want to be a teacher, and I also want to later go into education policy. So there's a lot of other things you can do with this sort of degree and certification too.
Is it harder working with little kids or older students?
Hi, my name's Alex, and I think it really depends on the student. I've had challenges with 3-year-olds and challenges with 14-year-olds. But every student just wants to be loved, they want to learn, they want to be successful. So if you find common ground, you'll be fine working with them.
Okay, so my question was what helps you to adapt with the younger students that you're teaching? Basically, if you're teaching younger students, you have to find the kind of like good middle spot between treating them like they're kids and like baby talking, but then also treating them like they have agency and that they can get things done. And I think the important thing to remember is that you should always have higher expectations than you think you should for your students, because that's what really drives them to learn and to complete things.
All right, so Jess, how did you know which college to pick?
I always knew I wanted to be a teacher, so I was looking at teaching programs, and I was visiting all the schools within Pennsylvania because I didn't want to spend a lot of out-of-state money. And I visited Westchester, and I visited Pitt, and Penn State, and I just visited Pitt, I know. And it's lame, but I had that feeling. I was walking around with my mom, and I was like, oh, I want to go here. I see myself here, so that was it for me.
Glad you're here. So Chelsea, why do you want to be a teacher, and then what do you want to teach?
So my motivation behind becoming a teacher is because I truly want to make a positive impact on the lives of all of my future students. And I feel like every child deserves that teacher that they know really cares about their success and overall well-being, and I hope to be that person for my students.
And then what, if you had to pick like a subject area, what do you think you would want to do?
So right now I'm pursuing an elementary education program, so I would teach somewhere between pre-K through 4th grade.
So the first question is, how do you like working with little kids?
I love working with little kids. I really enjoy working with the younger ones. Some days you feel like a superhero. You're running around. It's a busy day. You're always doing something. And you learn a lot from them, too. They're really smart.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, I agree. I like working with them a lot. They grow up so fast.
Yeah, like working with the same group of kids for 1 year, you can see a lot of growth, and I don't know, a lot changes when you're like an infant to 1, you know? You can see a lot of growth. Okay, second question.
What are your strategies to calm a student down when they are acting out?
Hugs.
Lots of hugs. Lots of emotional support.
Yeah, asking them why they're feeling that way, what's the matter, and just listening to them and validating their feelings, and then working through the issues and finding a way to help and kind of smooth things over.
Yep.
What made you want to start teaching? And did you have any teacher in your school that made an impact on your life and made you want to be a teacher?
So I think that the reason that I wanted to start teaching is it's something that I've always wanted to do growing up, but when I actually started working with kids in summer camps and on different volunteer opportunities in high school and college, I just realized how passionate I was about working with kids and making sure that kids felt included and felt that they belonged. And that goes back to, I had a teacher in high school that really focused on forming relationships with all of the students. He was my music teacher, and he would always ask you like every morning when you came in how you were doing and how your weekend was, and he really took the time to get to know you, and that's something that really impacted me and made me the person I am today, and I'd like to be that person for somebody else.
What are some hardships that you faced while becoming a teacher, and how did you overcome them?
So I faced hardship this semester actually when I was put into a special education classroom in a district that was unlike any other district I have ever been in. So I had to work on working with older students because it was middle school and I've been very used to working with younger students, so I had to change my reactions and things that I said to them because they were older. But also I had to realize that while they might not understand everything that I say, I still have to treat them with respect and I still have to be able to communicate effectively with them.